Amanda's retired. Boy, does that feel right, guys? Do you believe it? Do you buy it? I do. I think you should. Boy, she's given up a lot. But she's achieved a lot. It's really hard to relate. I don't know of anybody that we could ask. It's never happened before. A world champion that walks away on top. There is not a close second. There's a big match out there. Some meaningful opponents. But that just means you're going to burn some calories, right? I mean, if you put Amanda in a really hard match, that means you're probably going to see the fourth round. You might even see the fifth. You might even expire time. She had a really hard match this weekend. She won every single round. I think she even had a 10-8 somewhere in there. But there was no judge that had it closer than 50-45. That was a really hard fight, though, by Amanda standards, just because she was out there for a while. She had to do more. I mean, do you understand, guys? This is dominance. Who has the most beautiful thing you could possibly hope for in a mixed martial arts career, which is participation in the pay-per-view. To activate that clause is difficult to do. There's something known as thresholds. I mean, I'm just sharing for you. She had ×2. See, that's the part. We knew some greats that walked away. Some real good fighters walked away on top. Khabib did it not that long ago. St. Pierre not that long before that. Jon Jones somewhere in that mix as well. But it's a very different thing when you have two, right? You're not just walking away from a world championship. You're walking away from two. So what do? It was beautiful how she did it. John Morgan called it the greatest retirement that he had seen. And I did not look at it that way until John said it. I mean, she comes in the ring. She got a sold-out arena that's cheering for her. She just had a beautiful performance. She's got a #1 contender in the front row in the form of the Venezuela Vixen, who she is going to stick it to. You assume that she was going to have to do that with punches or have the punches stuck to her. She stuck it to her in a different way. She lays both belts down. She has her family in the ring. She has her beautiful daughter comes in and does a dance. John's right. It was the greatest retirement ever. It really was an awesome thing. But what do you do now? I mean, what strategy would you guys have? Because there's, opportunity opens up. My goodness, is there ever some opportunity? There's opportunity ×2. Don't forget, she's got 2 different belts. There are now 2 divisions that don't have a champion. There are now 4 girls, not 2. They're going to be fighting for a world title. Do you see the opportunity? Amanda's 1. Okay, and she's going to fight in one of these weight classes against one other opponent. So there's one person alive that's going to have an opportunity to fight for a world title. There are now 2 vacancies, which means 2 vacant fights will happen at 2 different weight classes with 4 different bodies. You just upped the opportunity 75%. No, that math is wrong. You just upped it 300%. It's a wild, it really is a very fascinating spot. How are you going to handle who's going to go for it? What weight class do you want to do it at? I mean, Juliana Pena is a great one. She's going to stay at 135 pounds. She's got to fight for the belt at 135 pounds. I understand that. I'm trying to have a conversation because if Juliana Pena was to bump up to 145, I think that field is less difficult. With Juliana's style, particularly how much she is moving on some of those punches where she'll come into a march step, she'll run into him. To have that against a bigger opponent that has a hard time moving, I'm just sharing for you. Juliana is, I'm sure, locked at 135. They've probably already called her, said, be ready, we're going to get an opponent. For conversation's sake. Juliana only stayed at 135 because of Amanda. That's just where her business was with Amanda. She'd go up to 145, sure she would, and maybe she should consider that. Now, 45 pounders, they're going to have to navigate, and they're going to have to lobby. And you had a lot of people come out in both divisions, people that called Amanda out since Amanda retired. They didn't call her out the day before or even the day of. But now that she's gone, they call her. That's fine, right? I mean, it's not just the guys that are chickens in the sport. The guys are most certainly chickens, but it's not just the guys. The women are pretty cowardly, too. So now that you have these people that are calling her out, I mean, right? Do you see the irony, guys? It's not just the cowardness of calling out somebody that you can't have when you could have called them out when you could have had them. It's not just the cowardless. You now, and you don't want to be a coward. Like, that's just not a great way to go through life. But you also don't want to be stupid. And now you got just a little touch of stupid in you. Because there's no opportunity there. There's no opportunity in calling Amanda out. There's no response. There's no rebuke, and there's no fight. Meanwhile, they're looking for 4 girls that can fog a mirror to fight for world championships, make a whole bunch of money, and probably be a main event somewhere. So, instead of calling Amanda out, how about one of you girls steps forward with a little alpha in you and the sense to then say who your protege is. Condescendingly call out whoever you think is next in line and get that world title fight. How about that? Because there is an opportunity for that. They are looking for somebody to do that. I do believe they've already got Juliana. I understand that. But so instead of 4 bodies, you got 3. Very rare opportunity that opened up because of the retirement of Amanda. Consider, I know it's going to sound wild, and I know your managers have never said this to you, but just consider seizing that opportunity.